Have you ever felt that some people bring heavy energy into your home when they enter? Have you noticed that after certain visits, family arguments increase or things start to go wrong? Today, we're going to reveal a profound spiritual wisdom that has recently been shared by leading figures in the Church, including a special message from the new papacy on protecting our homes. Imagine this. In a recent private audience, several parishioners heard a clear warning about how some people can affect the spiritual harmony of our homes. This revelation has caused a major stir because it finally helps us understand why sometimes we feel like our home is under a dark cloud, or why family peace is disturbed for no apparent reason. The most striking thing is that, according to these teachings, there are exactly 5 types of people we should never allow into our homes if we want to maintain an atmosphere of peace and blessing. And the most surprising thing is that many of us, without knowing it, may be opening the doors to these negative influences every day. Before we continue, I want to ask you, have you ever noticed that after receiving certain visitors, the atmosphere of your home changes? Do you feel that some people seem to absorb the positive energy of your house? Share your experience in the comments because your testimony can help others watching this video. What I'm about to reveal today has changed the lives of thousands of families around the world. These are teachings rooted in the age-old wisdom of the Church, but now in these difficult times, we are reminded of them with greater urgency. If you feel that your home needs spiritual protection, or you know someone who is going through difficult times in their family life, this message is especially for you. Let's explore these 5 types of people who, according to the new revelations, we should never let into our homes if we want to maintain an environment of peace, prosperity, and blessing. The first type of person you should never let into your home is someone who cultivates hatred and resentment in their heart. These people are like dark clouds that bring storms and darkness wherever they go. Spiritual teachings warn us that hatred is not simply an emotion, but a negative spiritual force that can contaminate the spaces where it dwells. How to recognize these people? They are those who constantly speak badly of others, who hold grudges for years, and who seem to feed on conflicts and the misfortunes of others. When they enter your house, they often bring destructive gossip, constant criticism, and a pessimistic view of the world. After their visit, it is common for family arguments to start for no apparent reason. The new spiritual teachings remind us that our home is a sacred sanctuary, and that we must protect it from these influences. This does not mean that we should reject these people with contempt. On the contrary, Christian charity calls us to pray for them, but we must be prudent and set clear boundaries to protect the peace of our family. A recommended practice is to spiritually cleanse your home after receiving visitors who bring this type of energy. You can do this with a simple prayer of protection, lighting a blessed candle, or sprinkling holy water in the corners of your house. These practices, although simple, create a spiritual barrier that hatred and resentment cannot cross. Always remember, forgiveness and love are the most powerful forces in the universe. Cultivating them in your home will create a natural protective shield against these negative energies. Your home should be a haven of peace, not a battlefield where hatred finds fertile ground. If this message resonates in your heart and you feel it can help others, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We will continue sharing these spiritual truths that can transform your life and that of your family. Like this video and activate the bell to receive notifications of our next content. The second type of person you should never allow in your home is someone who practices the occult or engages in magic rituals. This spiritual warning is perhaps one of the oldest, but also one of the most relevant in our times, where practices such as tarot card readings, Ouija board sessions, or consultations with mediums have become common and seemingly harmless. Thakus, teachings of the Church have always been clear. These practices open spiritual doors that are very difficult to close afterward. When a person involved in these activities enters your home, they do not come alone. They bring with them energies and influences that can remain in your house long after that person has left. How to recognize these people? They do not always wear obvious symbols or present themselves openly as practitioners of the occult. Often, they are people who speak with fascination about energies, special powers, or secret knowledge. They may offer to read your fortune, cleanse your aura, or connect you with deceased loved ones. Some even mix these practices with religious symbols, creating confusion. Recent spiritual revelations warn us that we must be especially careful with objects that these people may leave in our home. Amulets, talismans, or even gifts that seem harmless but have been charged with specific intentions or rituals. These objects can function as anchors for negative energies in your house. If you suspect that your home has been affected by these influences, traditional teachings recommend a deeper spiritual cleansing. This may include the blessing of the house by a priest, the use of sacramentals such as holy water and exorcised salt, and specific prayers of liberation and protection. It is also important to get rid of any object that may be serving as a door for these energies. Remember that the power of authentic faith is always greater than any occult practice. A home where true faith is lived, where prayer is sincere, and love is practiced, is a fortress that these negative influences can hardly penetrate. The third type of person you should never allow in your home is the manipulator or controller. These people are perhaps the most difficult to identify because they often present themselves as close friends or even as well-intentioned mentors. However, their influence can be devastating to family harmony and your spiritual well-being. Manipulators are experts at creating emotional dependency. They enter your home offering advice, help, or understanding, but little by little, they take control of your decisions, your relationships, and even your thoughts. Spiritual wisdom warns us that these people drain not only our emotional energy, but also our spiritual light. Sarah, a mother from Chicago, shared her experience with us. For years, we allowed a family friend to practically run our lives. It started with giving us financial advice. Then she gave her opinion on how to raise our kids. And finally, nothing in the house was decided without consulting her. We didn't realize the damage until our oldest son refused to come home while she was present. He said he felt like the walls were closing in when she was there. Sarah's family went through a difficult process of setting boundaries. At first it was painful because this person reacted with anger and manipulation when we started making our own decisions. She even tried to turn other family members against us. But after keeping her away from our home, it was like the air started circulating again. The arguments decreased, the children were calmer, and even our plants started to bloom again. Spiritual teachings remind us that God gave us free will, and anyone who tries to control us is acting against that divine gift. A blessed home is one where each member can grow and develop freely in love and mutual respect. To protect your home from manipulators, it is essential to develop spiritual discernment. Learn to recognize the typical tactics. Guilt, after all I've done for you. Isolation, no one understands you like I do. And creating dependency. You couldn't handle this without my help. Once you recognize these patterns, it will be easier to establish healthy boundaries. A recommended practice is prayer for clarity and strength. Ask for the gift of discernment to recognize negative influences in your life and the courage to establish the necessary boundaries even when it is difficult. If this message resonates in your heart and you know someone who might be suffering under the influence of a manipulator, don't hesitate to share this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and activate notifications to receive more content that can transform your spiritual life and that of your loved ones. The fourth type of person you should never let into your home is someone who sows discord and division. Spiritual teachings warn us that these people are especially dangerous because they can destroy in minutes what a family has built over years: trust, unity, and mutual love. Sowers of discord work subtly. They arrive at your house with apparent innocence, but their words are carefully chosen to create doubts and suspicions among family members. Did you know what your husband was doing yesterday? I heard that your son is hanging out with the wrong crowd. Your sister said something about you that would surprise you. The fourth type of person you should never let into your home is someone who sows discord and division. Spiritual teachings warn us that these people are especially dangerous because they can destroy in minutes what a family has built over years: trust, unity, and mutual love. Sowers of discord work subtly. They arrive at your house with apparent innocence, but their words are carefully chosen to create doubts and suspicions among family members. Did you know what your husband was doing yesterday? I heard that your son is hanging out with the wrong crowd. Your sister said something about you that would surprise you. Phrases like these, said at the opportune moment, can ignite conflicts that spread like wildfire. The most dangerous thing is that these people often disguise themselves as concern or even piety. I'm telling you for your own good. I think you should know. I just want to help. These are phrases they use to justify the poison they are spreading. Spiritual wisdom reminds us that true concern for others always seeks to unite, never divide. How to identify a sower of discord? They are people who habitually speak badly of those who are absent, who seem to have confidential information about everyone, and who enjoy telling other people's problems. After their visits, it is common for discussions to arise based on misunderstandings or on partial or distorted information. To protect your home from these influences, spiritual teachings recommend cultivating transparency and direct communication in the family. Establish as a rule that problems are discussed openly among those involved without intermediaries. When someone tries to sow doubts about a loved one, respond with phrases like, "I'd rather talk directly to him, her about that," or "In this family, we deal with problems face to face." A powerful spiritual practice is to regularly bless your home with prayers for family unity. You can gather the whole family to pray together, asking specifically for protection against division and discord. Many families have experienced surprising transformations by establishing this simple practice. Remember that family unity is a precious treasure that we must protect with vigilance. As ancient wisdom says, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Do not allow sowers of discord to cross the threshold of your home, and if they have already done so, take immediate action to repair any division they have caused. If this content is helping you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Share it with those you think might benefit from these teachings, and activate notifications so you don't miss our upcoming videos on spiritual protection and family well-being. The fifth and last type of person you should never allow in your home is someone who brings vices and addictions. This spiritual warning is becoming more relevant today than ever, in a world where dependencies have multiplied and diversified. From traditional substances to technological addictions to compulsions such as gambling or rampant consumerism. Spiritual teachings have always emphasized that vices are not simply bad habits, they are chains that bind both body and soul. When a person dominated by addictions regularly enters your home, those invisible chains can begin to spread, especially affecting the most vulnerable members of the family, children and young people. Robert, a father from Phoenix, shared his painful experience with us. "My brother-in-law was like a brother to me. He was always welcome in our house, despite his problem with alcohol. We thought our support would help him overcome it. What we didn't realize was how his presence was normalizing alcohol abuse in the eyes of our teenage children. One day, Robert continues, we found our 15-year-old son drinking in secret. When we asked him why he was doing it, his answer broke our hearts. If Uncle can drink like that and you still love him, what's the problem? It was then that we understood that loving someone doesn't mean allowing their addiction to affect our family. Robert's family made a difficult but necessary decision. They established that his brother-in-law would be welcome in their home only when he was sober and offered him support to seek professional help. It wasn't easy, and at first he felt hurt, but over time he understood that we were doing it out of love, both for him and our children. Today, he has been sober for 2 years, and our relationship is stronger than ever. This story illustrates an important spiritual principle. True compassion does not mean allowing evil to spread. As the teachings remind us, we can love the sinner while rejecting the sin. Setting clear boundaries can be the most authentic act of love, both for your family and for the person trapped in addiction. To protect your home from these influences, it is important to speak openly about vices and their consequences. Educate your children about the dangers of addiction, not from fear, but from an understanding of human dignity and the value of inner freedom. And if there are loved ones struggling with addictions, offer them support to seek professional help, always with love, but also with firmness. A recommended spiritual practice is prayer for the liberation from addictions, both for those affected and for the protection of your family. Many spiritual traditions have specific prayers for this purpose, which can be a powerful tool for healing and protection. Dear friends, if this message has touched your heart, I invite you to share it with those who might need it. Subscribe to our channel to continue receiving these teachings that can transform your life and that of your family. Activate notifications so you don't miss our upcoming videos on spiritual protection and family well-being. We have reached the end of our journey through these 5 types of people we should never let into our homes. As we have seen, protecting our living space is not an act of rejection or lack of charity. On the contrary, it is an act of responsibility and love for our family. To keep your home as a true spiritual sanctuary, the age-old wisdom of the Church offers us some simple but powerful practices. First, the regular blessing of your home, which can be done with holy water, going through each room while praying for protection and peace. Second, the presence of sacred symbols in strategic places in the house. A crucifix at the main entrance, sacred images in the rooms, or an open Bible in the family room. The third practice, and perhaps the most important, is to cultivate an atmosphere of prayer and love in the home. A family that prays together, that practices forgiveness and mutual understanding, is building the best possible protection against any negative influence. As spiritual wisdom says, where there is love, God is present. And where God is present, evil cannot remain. Always remember that your home is more than walls and a roof. It is a sacred space where souls are formed, where virtues are cultivated, where love is lived in a concrete and everyday way. Protecting it is not optional. It is a spiritual mission of the utmost importance. Dear friends, if the teachings we have shared today have resonated in your heart, do not keep this treasure only for yourself. Share this video with those who might benefit from these spiritual truths. Your simple act of sharing could be the beginning of a great transformation in someone else's life. If you haven't already, we invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications. This way, you can regularly receive content that will help you grow spiritually and protect what you love most. Leave your comment sharing your experience or your doubts. We are here to accompany you on this path. May peace and divine blessing fill your home and the heart of each member of your family. Remember the words of wisdom that we have shared today, and may your house always be a reflection of heaven on earth, a place of love, peace, and spiritual protection. Until our next meeting, may God bless you abundantly.